You know the task, you want to do it, and yet your body simply refuses to move at all. Instead, you scroll your phone, clean the shelf, do anything except the one thing that actually matters. Then the guilt wave hits. Alone in the dark, you whisper to yourself, I am lazy, I am irresponsible. But what if everything you believed about procrastination is completely and utterly wrong? Procrastination has absolutely nothing to do with laziness or poor time management skills today. It is not a moral failing. Science now calls it a survival response. Your brain protecting you from threat. Welcome to Decoding the Freeze, where we stop punishing ourselves and finally start moving forward again. Inside your skull right now, a silent war is being fought. Two powerful forces battling for one steering wheel. Meet the amygdala, your ancient emotion center, wired to keep you alive at all costs every single moment, and the prefrontal cortex, the rational planner, the voice of logic and long-term thinking inside you. The problem begins when a task feels threatening. Your amygdala does not know the difference between danger types. To your amygdala, a quarterly report and a tiger chasing you feel exactly the same level of dangerous. So your brain does what brains do in the face of danger. It freezes, it flees, it escapes to safety. Scrolling TikTok for 2 hours is not weakness. It is your brain sprinting away from emotional pain. Procrastination is a defense mechanism, soothing short-term anxiety regardless of the long-term price paid. Every time you avoid, the amygdala learns avoidance worked. And next time, the freeze gets stronger still. This is the trap, not laziness, not weakness. A loop your brain built to protect you from perceived pain. Here's the part nobody ever warns you about. The part that will change how you see this completely. The harder you force yourself to start, the more your amygdala digs in and refuses to cooperate at all. Willpower is not the solution to the freeze. In fact, willpower alone makes everything dramatically worse. When you scream at yourself to just do it, your amygdala hears the threat get louder. It panics even more. And then comes the cruelest part, the guilt. The guilt that makes the task feel even more impossible now. You were trying so hard to move, and the effort itself became the reason you could not move at all. Dr. Fuschia Sirois at the University of Sheffield spent years studying why some people break the cycle. Her research revealed something that sounds counterintuitive but is backed by powerful, repeated scientific data. Harsh self-criticism after procrastinating does not motivate you forward. It creates more procrastination next time. Self-blame spikes your cortisol, which raises your amygdala's threat level, which makes the task feel even more dangerous. Students who forgave themselves after procrastinating on an exam scored significantly higher on the very next one. The self-forgiveness group showed lower anxiety, higher engagement, and began their next task almost immediately. Forgiving yourself is not being soft or letting yourself off the hook. It is neuroscience in practical action. Kindness lowers the threat signal. A lowered threat signal allows the prefrontal cortex to come back online. You cannot hate yourself into productivity. Self-compassion is the only fuel the brain actually responds to. So how do we actually melt the ice? Here's the first tool, and it works because it tricks your amygdala. It is called the 2-minute lie. You tell your brain you will only work for exactly 2 minutes. That is all. Your amygdala does not see 2 minutes as a threat. 2 minutes feels survivable. So the alarm stays quiet. You open the document, you write one sentence. That is the entire job. Nothing more is required of you. But here is what the research shows. Once you start, you almost always keep going well beyond 2 minutes. This is because motivation is not a prerequisite for action. Motivation is born from action already in motion. The engine does not need to be warm before you drive. Driving is what warms the engine from the inside. The 2-minute lie is the bridge between frozen and flowing. It is permission given to your own frightened brain. The second tool is called the terrible first draft, and it requires you to give yourself full permission to be bad. Your brain freezes because it demands the output be perfect before it even begins the work at all. Perfectionism is not a high standard, it is fear wearing a very sophisticated and respectable disguise today. The blank page is terrifying. A bad page is not. So your only job is to turn blank into bad first. Write the ugly sentence. Draw the rough sketch. Send the imperfect email. Bad is the doorway to better. Every finished work you have ever loved began its life as someone's embarrassing and terrible first attempt. The terrible first draft tells your amygdala, this is not a final performance, this is just rehearsal. Relax. The third tool is decomposition. You are not writing a book today. You are only naming the document file. The task that triggers your amygdala is not the real task. It is the imagined total weight of everything combined. When you break the monster into its smallest possible pieces, your brain stops seeing a monster at all. Step 1. Open the document. Not write it. Not finish it. Just open it and let the cursor blink. Each micro step is a vote cast for your own capability. Each tiny action rewires the brain's threat response. Small tasks do not threaten the amygdala. Small tasks slip past the alarm system completely undetected. All three tools share one root. They all require you to lower the threat level first before anything else. And the most powerful way to lower your threat level every single time is to speak to yourself with kindness, not fake positivity, not toxic encouragement, just the honest kindness you would give a frightened friend. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you truly love who is struggling with the same thing. The science is clear. Self-compassion increases resilience, reduces avoidance, and improves actual performance outcomes. You are not lazy. You are a human being with a nervous system doing its ancient job of keeping you safe. Treat that nervous system with respect. It has been working overtime to protect you from imagined tigers. What about the guilt? Does self-forgiveness mean ignoring the guilt signal completely and moving on carelessly? No. Guilt is information. It tells you that something matters to you. That is actually useful data to use. The question to ask is not, why am I so lazy? Ask instead, what specifically makes this task feel threatening? Is it fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discovering you are not as capable as you hoped you were? When you name the real fear, it shrinks. The unnamed monster is always larger than the named one ever is. Name it, acknowledge it, then use one of your three tools to take a single step past it today. Tomorrow morning, try this instead of forcing yourself. Do not ask what you should do. Ask what feels smallest. Write the smallest possible version of the task on a piece of paper. Then make it even smaller than that still. Place that tiny task where you will see it first thing. Not a reminder of failure, a doorway into action. And when the guilt voice starts, and it will start, pause. Put one hand on your chest and breathe. Say to yourself, this is hard, and that makes sense, and I am going to try the smallest possible thing now. That single sentence is a neurological intervention. It tells your amygdala, we are safe enough to try. The freeze is not your identity, it is a response pattern. And response patterns can be gently rewired with time. Every time you use one tool instead of self-blaming, you build a slightly different neural pathway inside. You are not fighting your brain. You are teaching it slowly that the task is not a tiger after all. Every procrastinator who healed did not find more discipline. They found a kinder relationship with their own fear. You deserve to work from a place of safety, not a place of terror. That is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Your output is always better when your nervous system feels safe. Safety is not the enemy of productivity. Start tonight with one thing, not the whole list, not a perfect plan. Just open the file and name it. Tomorrow, forgive yourself for today, and try again with the smallest version of the task you can imagine. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are someone whose brain learned to protect itself very well. And now you have three tools to work with: the 2-minute lie, the terrible first draft, and decomposition. Use them gently, not as weapons against yourself, as bridges back into motion when the freeze arrives again. But wait, there is another kind of procrastinator nobody ever talks about. And it might be you right now. The productive procrastinator looks busy all day, clears every inbox, but never touches the one task that matters. This is a completely different psychological trap, and it may be the one you are actually living inside right now. That is our next video. If that sentence just made your stomach drop slightly, subscribe and do not miss it. Thank you for watching. Be gentle with yourself today. The ice melts slowly, and that is perfectly okay.